that happens because it means that it's sort of a clash of ideas between both teams. If you go in and both of you are picking your best stuff, knowing what the opponent's going to pick, you're saying your ideas are specifically better about the game than theirs are. And I think that's what's going to happen this game. We'll see who has the better ideas, who is left, who is right.
I mean, and in your mind, looking at this, whose idea do you prefer?
I personally prefer Tundra's idea here, actually. I don't think that the Aghanims from Alchemist has as high impact on the heroes from OG. Maybe the Arc Warden one is really good. It basically doubles your Spark Wraith, which I've never seen it, which is why I can't say, but I could imagine that being really strong, being hard to run into, and then you just you put a lot of Spark Wraiths, you farm them out with Alchemist, and you eventually outscale them or something like that. I also want to mention the draft was really cool this game, because there's just a lot of sort of prophylactic picks where you know they're gonna pick Mirana, so you pick Alchemist. And then you know they're going to pick Terrorblade, so you pick Lion with it, right? It's like preempting the move. And you saw sort of this individual metagame in this game specifically, where everyone knew who each other was going to pick, and they still picked the heroes into it.
I mean, and you talk about sort of the Aghs potential for Thompson. I mean, the Aghs Leshrac, is that not, do you think, what they're looking towards as maybe an idea to easily,
to battle.
Deal the damage rather early on with the amp up that Nihilism is going to provide against some of these cores, like a Terrorblade who's not really going to want to have a BKB too early in the game?
I could see it working, actually, specifically as you mentioned versus Terrorblade. He won't want to buy BKB, and I think it does turn Leshrac. Does it turn Leshrac ethereal? I don't know if it does. I've never actually bought the item because it's not something I've personally explored.
Well, I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter, right? Because it's turning everyone around your ethereal.
Yeah, but they can remove it with the Abaddon shield is the thing.
That's true. Actually, that is, well, yeah. Yeah, that is true, actually. Farthest moves could be pretty big this game against that. So if indeed it is about an Aghs rush on the Lesh, yeah, Tundra do have a way to deal with that. You're absolutely right.
So I just don't know again. Yeah. It's not something I have enough info to confidently say. I would say it's probably best on the Arc Warden, but so far they've given all the Aghanims to Sumail, just sort of accelerated his gameplay. What I've usually liked from OG, how they use the Alchemist, is they always accelerate their carry with it. I don't feel that Leshrac really accelerates his game in the same way a Monkey Kings or a Drow Rangers would.
No, well, we'll see what sort of idea they have got going from here, OG. And we say definitely is going to be played into some of Tundra's finest in terms of heroes that they've just been winning consistently with. Big one being the skiter Terrorblade. He's got to have a solid answer to it.
In bot lane, Skiter, he's picked this Terrorblade specifically versus Alchemist because of Acid Spray. He has 9 armor right now. Acid Spray does way less than it did. Last time OG was playing this, they played it versus Spectre and an Axe against a Viking. It had huge impact in the lane. I would say it won both its lanes there. I don't think it's going to be the same versus Terrorblade.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And when you sort of look towards the two big cores of both sides, how does the timings of an Arc Warden clash or compare with that you expect to reach as a Terrorblade? Like, what sort of different portions of the game are we going to see these heroes hit each other the hardest?
So this was a huge matchup during the KL Major. It was the 3 carries there were Terrorblade, Arc Warden, and Morphling. And what happened in that major was actually people would start running Terrorblade mid, it was Ramses and Arteezy specifically, against Arc Warden. And you would actually win that matchup because you had illusions to tank Arc Warden spells and you just out-CS them with meta. They didn't go to opt for that for Tundra this game, but what that sort of taught me, that meta, was that Terrorblade does have a tempo advantage against Arc Warden if you can have a really good lane. I do think he's going to have that this game, so if he can get something like Dragonlance, SMY, some BKB, even a Blink Dagger at some point, we could see Tundra going for a lot of tempo and trying to end this game.
Absolutely, yeah. And for 6, what we got?
Sorry, I just clicked on 3-3. I think he's starting no items into a Helm of Iron Will Rush.
And he's gotten away with it. I'll tell you,
so
11 CS.
He's going to go for Dominator first, which is really good because it allows him to push Leshrac out of lane. I was thinking at the start of this game that I'm a bit worried because Leshrac should have a good timing against Tidehunter. Once you hit 6 or even level 5 with the Edict, you can push him out of lane and Tidehunter doesn't really have any counterplay. However, the Helm of the Dominator completely nullifies it because the armor works against Edict, which is a huge deal. And Leshrac can't stand against the Kree. This is a really cool idea coming out from 3-3. He always has some fresh ideas about Dota. I love it.
I mean, he absolutely does. We saw it in the other series again, the other day against Liquid, right? Again, where they're 11k down. He's also playing the Tide. He goes for the Aghanim's first item, plays a huge part in turning it around, holding from the high ground, and as you say here, once again, doing something a little different that could have pretty big impact quite early on in this match.
And I think the cool thing about it is just how pre-thought and how well thought out the ideas are. In that Tidehunter game that you mentioned, he went 4-1-4. So he is thinking about that build since level 8. But that's so much earlier in the game than what you would expect. And it ends up, I honestly think that build ended up winning them the game in the end. Like, it stalled so much. I'm curious to see how this helm will work as well, because he is having a pretty good lane, even with Mirana sort of roaming to the enemy jungle here.
Absolutely is. And to tell you, he's not having a pretty good lane. Bottom lane, 7 Saxa. They are getting bullied pretty heavily by Fada. Fada continues to just sort of run the two of them out of the lane. They're having to pop a lot of regen. Saxa having to take the walk back to base. As Fada doing an excellent job of just securing Skiter all the space in the world. There's not going to be any early pressure on this Terrorblade. Same to be said for Samel. Both side lane position ones getting good farm right now. The mid matchup, 22 from 7 on 9 against the 51 for Thompson. They might have him actually this time. Skiter with the Metamorphosis, a few hits. Got another one in. They're looking to dive. Miscalling the shield, not enough. Skiter's trying to come through the trees to find him. Won't be able to get the vision though. So Seb will live. Very low on the regen. Saxon's come back into the lane, has brought a salve with him. So we'll be able to top Seb back up. So Seb can remain down here.
I also want to mention that 9 is having a fantastic lane versus Arcord in the middle. There's even a Mirana roaming on him here.
Whoa. Thompson having to juke the arrow. We'll keep him alive. I'd say that Snake King's in, leaping forward. He's looking for Thompson. Needs a couple more hits though. Thompson's starting to salve out. Salve up, sneaking around the tree line. Snake King, he's not going to have enough damage in the tank to finish him off. Still has one leap left to try and break away from the two of them. But Thompson, he's got the Flux skill, and they've got the nuke damage with the Purifying Flames. They will be able to punish Snake King for diving in deep. Of course, at the same time, down bottom, OG, they heal up, they're able to strike back, and they do manage to get farther out of the lane.
Yeah, and in both lanes, the Tundra supports sort of going down. Both in lanes that they're already winning. They're going for Seb here, though. Oh, the pop on shield.
The shield damage from Fada, it blows him up. Saxon will turn with the Hex. So they can run him down.
They can run him down, they have boots.
They've got a shield as well if they want to look to dive the tower, and they do. Skiter shielded up by Fada, they're in. And Tundra, they'll hit back just as hard, getting the revenge there for losing Fada earlier in the matchup.
I was going to say that it's a huge deal to get kills in lanes where you're losing, but Tundra immediately strike back, and they're not done yet. They're going on to mid here.
Yeah, this aggression here. Straight on to Thompson. Thompson continues to have no tail, stand by his side. Fada's swinging over. They'll get in, they'll land the slow here with the reach of the field. They'll take out Thompson, they'll take out No Tail. Double kill for 9 in the mid lane as Tundra, already just 5 minutes in, making huge moves across the map. They're at a 2k lead. OG's not ready for this pace.
And this is a completely different answer than what we saw from Viking against OG's Alchemist. In that series, Alchemist was free farming. This one, Skiter, I mean, it's not like Alchemist is getting full zone from the lane or something, but he's almost doubling up. Oh, 9.
Gets another one, enough mana with the one charge to get another plasma field off. I mean, 9 already starting off 6 minutes in, 3 kills here for the mid lane Razor.
He's really beasting it, and Razor is actually a hero that can take over the game. We were talking about this Terrorblade versus Arcord matchup, but something that completely breaks that is if Aghanim's BKB Refresher Razor just runs in at the Arcord. There's nothing to prevent Arcord from getting gone on, even Oracle save. Oh my god. He just solo killed him, or?
Snake's in, he has the illusion on him.
Oh, okay, it's an illusion. Okay, that's great.
I mean, Skiter picking up kills whilst he's chilling, hitting the creeps in the lane, thanks to that illusion being sent over to back up Snake King's move. I mean, this is looking pretty rough out. We're 7 minutes in, they're at a 3k lead as Tundra, they're popping off big time very quickly to start. Thompson mid, he's trying to TP out. Have they got enough damage? They don't. Thompson will manage to get his main self back to the base. Still, it's back to the base. It's going to be time off the map for Thompson as Thompson continues to have a slow start. Samel, he's come over with the rotation. See if he has enough damage to take down 9. He doesn't! A terrible rotation there from Samel will cost him his life. 9 gets another kill. No Tail's running up to the high ground. 9, he's going to look to chase this down. 33 turns with the helm of the Don Wildwing Ripper. No Tail's life away from him.
Have you ever seen those videos of like a Ogre Magi pretending to be a neutral creep? And then he stuns the enemy when they come to farm it, because that's what 3-3 just did with the Swallowing Ripper. It was just in the jungle. It's pulling random ways away from OG. Last time OG played Leshrac and Alchemist, they had like 4 times 3 stacks in their jungle for them to accelerate. But Tundra, they're just playing at such a high pace that OG supports aren't able to do this. They're running them over on the map.
They really are. And there's a lot of supports to run over with sort of the start that they're having on the Alch and the Warden. They've got kind of 4 supports going at the moment, OG. They're falling behind big time.
I just thought Tidehunter, I think part of what he can do with his creep as well is he can just stack ages from himself. I think it's something 3-3 would do. And it's they're Moonlight Shadowed onto Thompson here, just taking over the enemy triangle.
I mean, where are OG going to get the space to get their farm on these cores now?
You have to kill the Tundra heroes. If you don't kill them, they're going to run at you too much. And here they go. They're going on to Skiter here. Do they have damage though?
Let's see, Skiter. He has got enough for the 1 charge in the Sunder. See if he gets it off. One's pop. He's quite got enough mana for the Sunder as of yet. We'll step to the side. And he's going to be fine. Saxa taking down the damage of the urn. The illusions are out. Skiter, he's going to be able to pick up a kill on Saxa. Sumail at the same time dying to 9. Was that a solo kill by 9 in the mid lane with the helm of the Dark Troll Summoner? In fact, from the helm of the Dom that 33's playing with from across the map. I mean, this is just a pure highlight reel for Tundra.
Oh my god. The plays they're making are so cool too. Like Leshrac versus Razor, if he runs at you, you know, you can TP out, he has no cancel. But 3-3, he's just adding on to his teammate's play. Suddenly, there's 1 creep mid. It changes the dynamic of the matchup, and Tundra, they're putting pressure on all 3 lanes right now.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
OG CP'ing in for the defense in mid, and they've got the 3 of them. They've got to be careful with Sumail though. Sumail was the only core that was really having a good start. He's come to me twice and died 2 times tonight. They will get the catch on Snake King. They've got the damage with the 3 of them. 9 trying to poke back in onto Saxa, but he won't head up to the high ground. So OG will get themselves a kill. They need a lot more than that, though, to recover the deficit they're at right now.
That's a very important kill. Anytime you're behind like this, the only way you can sort of move forward on the map is if enemy heroes are dead. Because Snake King is dead, you know, you can sort of, you see Thompson, he can push a little bit further bottom. Maybe Alchemist can farm a little bit more. I mean, Tundra, they're so far ahead that they're still oppressive, but it's a good start for OG to try to come back.
He's got to be very cautious. We've seen Tundra dive past this tier 1 many times before.
Radiant's bottom tower.
How safe he is, standing as close as he is here.
Dire's
Smoke
middle
comes out from the
tower is under
battlefield.
attack.
Dark Troll Summoner. Look at the setup on him. They're just running him down. Under the tier 2, Sumail will be safe enough for now.
Dire's
Falling very
middle
low.
tower has
They'll have the
fallen.
space and aggression to push down the tier 1. Arrow coming in from the side. Snake King. He lands the hit onto No-Tail. Can't get past Sumail
Radiant's
though.
bottom
So
tower is
No-Tail
under
will be
attack.
fine. At least for now, I say that 9 and Fada, they're still looking to get him past the tier 2, and they will. Plasma field out, 9 sweeps by, picks up another kill. 7-0-1 now. As 9 continues to pop off, playing with the momentum that he built up in that game 1. Bottom lane, Thompson trying to get in onto Skiter, but underneath the tower, easy time for backup to come in from Tundra. Actually doesn't need to. 9 holds back on the TP, maybe sees instead a chance to get the wraparound in from the side. Won't go for it though. Thompson having Sumail and Saxa by his side. They won't look to poke at this. Tundra snaking. Finds Seb's courier though, passing by on the top half of the jungle. 33 with the pressure will now be able to take this tier 1 tower away without OG being able to do anything to hold it.
So Tundra have taken both the mid tower and the they're just running into the jungle.
Seb, and he can't get out of this. He tries to TP, but the yours is there. I mean, this Razor just completely taking over the game here with the way that Tundra are, as a team, are just enabling 9's aggression. I think it was sort of Milan who talked about the strength of the 23rd pick Razor in a draft, and 9 certainly showing that here. He's having a pretty free game.
Yeah, and OG do get some compensation. They managed to get this ball tower. I was actually trying to make a point that you've opened up the map by taking the mid and safe lane tower away from OG. But Tundra, they were already mixed level, making the move as the tower falls. Seb, he's not really expecting that, because usually it's more systematic, methodical, and slow. Tundra, they're just zooming around, and they've already killed him as the tower's going down.
Bottom Thompson. He's got to look to get out of it. Okay. He's going to go for the TP out, but the damage is done. Skiter with the illusions and the metamorphosis will take Thompson out before he can get away.
Ooh, and this is how you want to play Terrorblade. Oh, mid lane though, they're going on to 9 here. This is a big kill if they can get it.
I mean, Nine's pretty tanky. He's got the use as well to keep himself safe. They're ready to turn. Snaking will get fingered here by Saxa, but Saxa still falls. 9 charges in over towards Samael. The link going as well. Samael's got to step out to the side. Seb has not got any damage to turn back in onto the two of them. He's trying. I don't know how much he's going to achieve from getting a few hits on this though, as the slows are coming out from Fada and 9. Seb's got to get back under the tier 2.
Meanwhile, top lane, you have Helmet Dominator Ti10 apparently solo killing a tier 2 at 13 minutes in the game.
I mean, he's chilling. He really is in 33. I mean, call him Ash Ketchum because I think he's sort of caught them all. We've seen him play with so many different neutrals already in his first 13 minutes. And everyone to sort of perfect efficiency, from Wild Wings to pulling waves, to Troll Summoners setting up mid, to Alpha Wolves adding that extra damage to push down objectives and take out creep waves. He's doing it all.
And there's even a triple stack at Ancients. Like, I don't know if 3-3 was the one who did this, but I wouldn't be surprised if he was. He's just doing so much while staying in his lane and taking a tier 2. This build looks phenomenal. I expect to... He's going for the Vladsnix just to support the Terrorblade. Honestly, I saw 3-3 even build some Satanics on offlane Ti10 in his pubs. Sort of expected something like that, but no, this game's crazy. There's a lot to learn from, and OG, they're not out of it yet. They can still clutch this game.
He's been caught in the mid hit. Does have no tail by the side. Boss Promise is at the ready if Samael needs it. I'll try and turn. See if they got the damage to bring down 9. Stuns in, 9 falling low. 9 off to the side, but he'll go down. OG finally able to bring down the Razor. A big kill to catch. Can they get more from this? Trying to chase down Snaking. Just fast enough, though, to get out of the reach of Samael and to split Earth. Finally, OG getting pretty much the biggest core out of the game right now. 9 finally has to sit on the sideline.
That's an 8 kill streak. Unfortunately, it goes for no tail. It's not his fault. They need everything to burst him down, but that's exactly what OG need to come back. They need to overwhelm Tundra when they overextend. When you have more of the map, sometimes it means that your resources are going to spread thin. Like, just imagine if we draw a line through the map control. If you have 75% of the map, if you want to take control of that, you have less places where you have more places where your heroes have to be. OG are more focused, you know? They bring all 5 heroes, I mean, there's an Arc Warden clone, and they take down 9's Razor. It's a very big comeback play from them.
See what they can do with this. Good stacks here for Seb to clean up, and we'll get the axe pretty much done here. Seb's going to be able to pass that over. We'll see which way it goes. I would imagine it's still likely to be Samael as that position 1. If anything, just for those extra stats, giving Samael that chance to survive and dish out the damage in the fights.
I could definitely see the eggs on him working. They're trying to find Saxa in the trees up top. He's juking. He's fine. He's fine. Hey, OG, they finished a little bit of items. They have the Maelstrom on Thompson, who's actually opted to go for treads over travels on Arc Warden in this game, just because of how hard the early game was. So he's not scaling the same way, you know, we saw the C qualifiers, these epic 2-hour-long games that Black had to cast like 18 off. He's just struggling. This might not be the same Arc Warden. It's a treads Arc Warden.
Just what do you hide?
It's going to indeed take time, as you say. He's just sort of been sitting in that bottom half of the network. He's had to compensate and get this.
And I don't know if he has time. Look at Tundra. Same as OG last week. They're pressing the issue. They're just going to take this objective on the map.
Are scanning.
I know OG's got to kind of let it go. There's not really too much they can do when it comes to bringing together a team fight around the pit, especially when the Metamorphosis is up for speed.
Leshrac Alchemist.
I see what sort of an impact it has. I mean, when you do the math, do the numbers, it is going to allow him to kick out a lot of damage. Eternal Shroud done as well. So Samael is going to be pretty survivable on the front lines, especially with No Tail having the backup. Oh, arrows connecting like that, though, might cause issues. Samael's going to turn with the Nihilism. It's actually not really amping up that much at all. Tundra seemed pretty unfazed there by that aggressive attempt from Samael. The Ravage comes out. He catches the 3 of them, plus the Tempest double. That's 7 Samael gone. The Tempest double to fall as well. But, well, no, in fact, they've got their eyes set on bigger targets. They're going to go for the real heroes, chasing down No Tail. As No Tail false promises himself. He's got no escape available, though. He knows what's inevitable as his life will come to an end. Another kill for 9. Straight from the Roshan down the mid lane. They've got the setup on the high ground. They're looking towards him. Arrows coming in. It's going to connect onto Thompson, but they won't go forward. Zax are at the side, ready with the stuns. Tundra will respect that. They won't dive in onto Thompson.
Look at this play from Fada. He's even dragged the bottom wave. The amount of efficiency coming off from the wave drags, everything. Tundra's side is phenomenal, but they're going on to Ti10 mid here. This is their chance. They have no Ravage.
They're in. stun control. Barda, he'll offer up a nephrotic shield. It won't be enough to save him. Finger comes in big from Saxa. They'll burst down the tide.
Honestly, one of my favorite things from the last fight was that looked like overwhelming force from Tundra. But skiter was actually just farming his own Ancients in Triangle during that fight. So they got this extreme efficiency, dragging the bottom wave, getting Ancients, winning the fight. You know, they had the enemy shrine all at the same time. And they're on 8k gold. They don't have Ravage, but one of the benefits of playing with these fast lane shoving heroes like Terrorblade, Mirana, Razor, is that if you have cooldowns, you can always split push the lanes. That's even ameliorated because they pick up this illusion rune. And man, it's hard to play OG's map right now. They're doing a good job punishing Tundra when they overextend, but there's not that many opportunities when you're behind.
The time are definitely still ticking for them in the sense that once skiter has his next time done the Skadi, they're going to be in position, Tundra, to start approaching high ground sieges. OG's got to be prepared. They've got to have some sort of defense to come in. A lot of it's going to rest on Sumail, what he can do as the Leshrac. Now, anytime OG do run this Seb Alchemist, getting that Axe and fueling it into Sumail does mean they're sort of going to be playing a core down, and even more than that this game, with Thompson still needing time to recover, get himself a few items. Get in the jungle though, goes to burst down 9, but 9's got the Aegis. Ready for another round. 15 seconds until the Ravage is back up to 33. Barda getting focused, still has the borrowed time to rely on Sumail. Being silenced, Pulse comes out from no tail to keep Sumail alive. Over to the side, they're on to Thompson. Thompson gets blown up. As Thompson down, they're heading towards skiter. Do they have the damage to take down the Terrorblade? They don't. skiter turns, gets the send off. Ravage is ready to go. 33 catches all remaining heroes on OG. As OG get T-wiped by Tundra.
Tips out onto Seb. And you know, OG, they're trying. It's close. Terrorblade almost dies there. They just don't have enough damage. But Tundra, I think that was a Ravage like coming down in cooldown during the fights. They're baiting out the fight. Perfect Ravage, and now look at this. And, you know, Tundra, they're doing so much on the map. They're hitting mid tier 2. They're hitting top tier 3. They're just doing everything. Even Snaking's running to get bottom control because they understand the state of this game. Their win condition this game is not necessarily to kill the Raxes. It's to get full map control. Don't let Warden and Alchemist farm. Outscale them because you have a refresher on Tide. You have more items. You're stronger that way. It's a very methodical, like, proper way to play Dota compared to like a lot of the more aggressive approaches. Snaking.
Oh, that's up. Remember the blink. You're going to be able to buy enough time for the rest of them to head over. Sumail got to be able to get close enough by looks of it. And I think has to be a little careful. skiter is in the neighborhood. And meanwhile, 9, he's killing off Seb top. Seb steps up. A quick kill onto him. OG, they really want to stick. They're still trying to go for this, but the bros under there from skiter. Keeping Snaking healed up. Sumail still on the front lines, and he got enough damage to kill Snaking. He's trying to chase him. Snaking will finally fall, but it's been a lot of pressure hit on Sumail. Sumail has got enough to deal with the rest of them. 9, he's in with the BKB, ready to chase down Sumail with the static link. Thompson, he's been surrounded by 33 powder and skiter. Thompson's trying to fight them off. He's got nothing to offer against the 3 of them. As Thompson goes down, 9, still with the movement speed, closing in on Sumail. Another slow from the plasma field.
You should
to
run.
8 seconds, not quite soon enough to grab him. Meanwhile, in the trees, skiter's on the hunt for Saxa. Saxa jumps out to the side, but skiter's able to find him with the reflection as Saxa slowly dying there to an illusion of himself. He will live long enough to TP out, and in fact, it's enough. They don't have any vision or ways to cut through the trees, so he won't die today here. Saxa making it back to safety. Not the same can't be said indeed for some of OG's cores. Thompson down again. Tundra now in position to push this bottom creep wave round and take away that final tier 2. Still just at the early timing here of 21 minutes in.
I even just watched Fada run into Elk's Ass Spray and deny 2 range creeps 21 minutes into the game. And another great fight for Tundra. You know, skiter, he saves Snaking for long enough, baits OG in, and Thompson, he comes in and he's just stuck with the treads. He can't get out. Also, I didn't know how the Leshrac eggs works, but it does make Leshrac ethereal. I saw in that fight. It gives him extra move speed, and he doesn't take any increased magic damage. So it is quite strong, a lot stronger than what I expected. Okay. But my apologies to the audience, because honestly, I have never, like, I've seen the item like once or twice. It's not something that we usually see, like a lot of OG strats.
Yeah, I would say, don't worry, Lowy. It doesn't even say in the tooltip that it makes himself.
No, why would it? You don't deserve to know from Dota2.
We can blame Valve on that one. Seb, they found him. Gonna get the ult off, it doesn't matter. Skiter at this stage with the Scotty pretty much done 100 gold. Now what can you do? This is the Terrorblade at that incredible mass, at this incredible timing that has enabled the hero to just do so well. Particularly in the hands of Skiter, finding success again and again. Maybe a few more times than you'd maybe expect teams to let him have it. As Tundra, we did see very comfortable draft, comfortable picks, and it is showing much more so than what you'd maybe expect from OG with this sort of lineup. OG not having a great time at all here. Down 29-9, 14k lead at the moment for Tundra. OG's got to come out with something spectacular to turn this one around, because at the moment, it's looking like Tundra are going to have the clean sweep here in this series.
Yeah, and look at Saxa. He is beasting it. He prevented a tier 2 death just by sort of pulling the wave. Boosts him out.
On him, 33 has got a Ravage as well, if he sees a good chance to get in on the fight. Samel trying to turn things. Vada has got the borrow time good to go. Won't seize an opportunity for the Ravage, but they can play it cool here, Tundra. They don't need to force any aggression. As long as they're not losing anybody, they're fine.
OG just got their second tier 2 neutral item, by the way. It's 24 minutes into the game, and they only have 2 of the neutral items that drop at 17. And this is with Leshrac, Alchemist, Warden, heroes that you typically consider to farm neutrals a lot.
Go for Vada. He's got the stun here, 33. He's on and on for the Ravage. Stun will come out, Concoction onto 33. And still just not quite the damage at all here. Skiter more than fine, turns up towards Samel. No tell. He's got the false promise, holds on to the last moment really to pop it onto Samel. Samel will try for the TP out, but 33 pops the Ravage, catches Notail and Samel. No escape for them. 4 dead again on OG as Tundra. I mean, they really are doing it here. And so many times we've seen in this upper bracket run, they are making quite the case for themselves here in this Western European qualifiers. As what looks to be on track to be another win. It's just looks so good. It's just looks so crisp, so solid. They're doing something a little bit new. They're doing their own style, bringing their own sort of take on the game, and it's looking a step ahead of anything else that any of the other teams are bringing out.
They're looking absolutely fantastic. And this is against like OG, Milan talked about it, that they had 2 strategies that they revealed, the Magnus and the Alchemist.
Dire's bottom tower.
Tundra, they knew about those strategies, and they seem to perfectly counter-strat both of them. Like, it's hard to say whether Tundra, like, they're playing so well, all their plays, it's synced up with their teammates. But I think the most impressive thing is just how well strategized they were going into this match. Terrorblade versus Alchemist, you know, the Wyvern versus the Magnus, they had really good ideas here.
Shadows, take us.
And up with the Moonlight. In behind the tier 2 tower as well, Tundra. Speed up. Finish off the tier 2 tower. Turn their attention towards Vada, but Vada's more than happy for OG to go on him. Ults at the ready, Samel forced out to the side. No tail, no false bonus for 25 seconds. Samel, he's going to need help. He's not going to get it with no ult back up on the Oracle. There's no save for Samel. Samel's down for 45, and that's more than enough space for Tundra to step up to the high ground. 25 minutes in, start looking to take down the tier 3. Back to Thompson. What can he do to hold? Has he got enough firepower and get some kills? He will get Vada. Stumble Sansa comes out on for 2 of them. Snaking getting low, will get burst. OG, they will manage to hold here. They get 2 kills, and that will be enough to stop Tundra from sticking around. They'll keep their tier 3 alive, OG.
And honestly, a bit uncharacteristically sloppy by Tundra this game. 3-3 had the Alpha Wolf in the Roshan pit, and they scouted Roshan was up. I would have far preferred, instead of going for this high ground, to understand that their win condition is just this big gold lead and agents. OG, they do a good punish, you know, a beautiful stun coming out from Saxa. But I think a lot of this game is going to come down to, can OG contest this Roshan? Because again, we've seen time and time again, this second Roshan, I think 3-3 will pick up the shard, he'll anchor smash your tower, will do no damage, and then how do you stop the high ground from coming? They're doing Roshan with 3 heroes alive only. They know how meta. Alright.
I mean, so they decided. Yeah,
that's a bit too
maybe we
crazy.
should be careful. Especially as you say, after sort of maybe the missed call to try and go for the high ground. Maybe getting a little too excited about Samel being out of the game. They did sort of opt to push on.
But now
they'll play it safe.
He's picked up his refresher orb, and it's such a huge item on Razor. This item has gone on. The biggest buff that this item got was the fact that BKB at its lowest charge is now 6 seconds. So if you have a refresher orb, that's 12 seconds of magic immunity compared to 10 from before. It's a big deal. Look at Seb. He's trying to sneak into the enemy triangle just to get these tier 3 items. Did they even get auto tier 2s? They only have 3 tier 2 items at 27 minutes. They managed to pick up a couple of tier 3s, but that's rough, man. That's just sort of indicative of how much map control and pressure Tundra has put onto the OG side.
Pressure's going to continue here with this Roche falling very quickly. OG not in any place or position to put a stop to this one. Skiter's going to take everything.
Okay.
Well, at least the Aegis and the Shard. Make sure that he has the Zeal ready for the next move.
I can see that. I mean, Skiter, he's been fighting without Metamorphosis like 3 fights this game, and they won all of them. Zeal's specifically good when you don't have that meta. So, you know, a little bit of logic there, maybe a little bit of a read on the game. And they're ready. They have Ravage, they have meta, they want to go high ground here. They even have this Alpha Wolf creep and Vlad's on 3-3, giving Terrorblade an extra 48% damage.
That's him. Force out to the side, so now he's getting in on this 33 with a cheeky aggressive force staff there, pulling Samel towards them. Samel.
This is still awkward in Dota.
They do at the hold, they do at the bubbles. Just slowing down the offensive here from Skiter. Doesn't look like it. Tier 3 still goes down. 33 stepping up, has Ravage good to go. So OG, gotta be cautious how close they step towards the tide. And they can't step close enough at all to stop this damage being done. The melee ranks falling pretty fast. The backdoor protection does kick in. Bubble as well. They're able to move into the bubble, continue to beat down, and OG, they're just getting torn apart by 9. He heads in with the BKB. The 2 rounds of the Eye of the Storm, and OG, they've got to step out of it. Samel, again, aggressively forced in by 33. 33 playing around with Samel each and every time he tries to step in. Now Skiter, he gets on top of Thompson, charging down on the artboard. The Ravage comes out, catches the fourth, and again, 33, easily able to land it onto pretty much the entirety of OG's lineup. And OG, they're getting beat back towards the fountain. Thompson only just being saved here by the false promise. He will live. Tundra, they're going to get caught on the way out. Skiter still with an Aegis. Samel in a Fada. Borrowed time, someone called out for 30 seconds. Satcher, another nice stun lined up onto the 3 of them. They'll kill off Fada. Samel charging in the Nihilism as well and pick up the damage being dealt here to Skiter. Skiter, they should be able to take him down the once. Can they do it again? He's got limited backup. Only 33 to Snaking ready to help out. The stun opening is anything Skiter can do to play his way out of this one. The reflection now onto the 4 of them. Any further catch, Seb, stunning a Irreverent Concoction. They force him up to the high ground. Concoction's in. Another force. 33. Forcing Skiter down to the low ground. Is it enough to get him out of the reach of Saxa? It is. 33 will get Skiter the distance he needs to get into the trees, but the Hex is there. The vision provided. The Spark Rip into the trees will allow them to get the catch. Stop Skiter from getting out. As OG, they may have lost the racks, but they're finally able to find a fight where they will come out on top in terms of numbers.
That's a beautiful punish from OG. A little bit, you know, they're 1 game away from being the grand finals of the TI qualifiers. Maybe a little bit of nerves kicking in, but they went very far there. If you look at where 9 died, he died like basically where the throne is to the fountain, like perpendicular. And as soon as that Razor's dead, as soon as he's expended that refresher double BKB, I think Tundra need to realize that there's a lot of catch, there's a lot of magical damage coming in for OG. Thompson, despite his like sort of rough game, he's now finished Mjolnir. He's going to get to MKB. He is going to hurt Terrorblade a lot now.
Now they're making a recovery. It's still got a bit of a way to go. But OG making sure that they're not walked over completely here by Tundra.
Ooh, look at Razor. He's going for a Nullifier mix. I think that's really cool. I was in my head, I was like, he has to go for... Actually, he doesn't have Aghanims yet. I thought he would just go Aghanims. He just break the base. Like, the idea I had of this game was they had Arc Warden, but you have Tidehunter with Anchor Smash, which goes through the bubble, and then you have Aghanims on Razor, which also goes through the bubble. So even though you can keep laying down these defensive spells, you'll still break the base. Tundra, they have a different idea. They built Blink on Skiter and Tidehunter. They want to just jump OG and kill them so that they can't place those bubbles. It's a perfectly valid idea, just a bit different than what I thought.
They're picking both of these up after that last fight, so might catch OG off guard. G. Hidden up in the base.
Dire's courier has been killed.
Get a couple of couriers
Dire's courier
on the way out here.
killed.
I didn't get to click on those couriers. Do you know if they had some items on the... Oh, they're jumping to mail mid.
I don't think they had anything too important on. I think Sumail's just trying to get it out to get the plate mail for his Shiva's guard. So not any huge items on the release, but will limit with that ability for OG to really pick much up with the way that Tundra is keeping OG contained in the base.
And they pop meta here. He wants to go in.
Oh, he does. He popped the BKB. Skitter's just charging down. He's able to force No-Tail out to force punish himself. 33 holding on to the reaction now. Pops the Ravage again. Catching the forward. They move in 9 with a fresh second charge. The BKB in the other storm runs down No-Tail. No-Tail will turn to be able to keep Sumail alive, but it will cost No-Tail his life. Thompson does turn, take down 33. Thompson will win the duel this time round as he holds his ground, beats him down. But that's Seb out. The 9 heads over towards Thompson, catches him trying to sneak back towards the base. And Thompson, he's out. He's 90 gold short of buyback. He's not going to have buyback available in time. They do manage to get kills elsewhere, though, with Sumail and No-Tail running down, snaking. So, despite losing Thompson here, they're able to hold once again. OG somehow finding the way to come out on top of these fights.
And Razor now has his nullifier. I think I'm seeing a bit of his idea. In that fight, Sumail, if you get an Oracle saved, he'll put his Purifying Flames on you. That actually gets purged by nullifier, so you can't heal up your ally. Also, I'm assuming the ethereal form from Nihilism can get purged. I've never really seen the interaction, but it has to be, right? Yeah. Just like a Ghost Scepter or Ethereal Blade. So maybe they're just thinking, okay, all we have to do is we blink on the Leshrac, we ravage him, nullify him, and we burst him down. That fight was very uncoordinated from Tundra. Again, I think maybe a little bit of inexperience, but Skiter jumped in with BKB meta.
He went straight.
And, yeah, and Tidehunter's blink was on cooldown, so he couldn't follow up at the same time. When you have timings like BKB, Ravage, Metamorphosis, you want to combine your spells so the instant you commit to the fight, you're bursting enemy heroes. They still do get a lot of buybacks out from OG, but I think OG are so happy with that fight. They're constantly being given windows, and most importantly, they've come back 12,000 EXP in this game. It's a huge deal.
Yeah, absolutely in a position where another move like that from Tundra could lead OG to really leveling the playing field. Not to set up for the next move by the looks of it. 9, 25. Do know if they can get a hit here onto OG. No-Tail and Seb won't be able to buy back. Second round in the fight. Now heading for the spot. Skitterling fight. Skiter is ready to go in aggressively. Jumps forward straight away. No-Tail having to instantly punish himself as he attempts to force his way out of this. Saxa gets focused down by the damage of Skiter. Saxa out for a minute. No buyback. They're forcing him in. Nice ready to go in even deeper. Onto Sumail. Sumail trying to turn with aggression off the Nihilism. Skiter focused and still got the Thunder. Good to go. 33's in for the Ravage. Catching them all out. They're trying to get back towards the fountain. A buyback has to come out for Sumail. Sumail getting straight back in on Tapana. Stun, catching out Skiter. Skiter still got a Sunder. Is he able to get it off in time? He is. Sunder snaking gets him back a good amount of health. Refresher pop from 9. Jumps straight back in over to No-Tail. As No-Tail's out for 80 seconds. 9's able to clean up with the triple. Gets Thompson. Turns towards Sumail. But Sumail, he's still got a lot of fuel in the tank. He's ready to get burning down. The rest of them 9. He's got to step out of it. Seb beats into snaking. Sumail jumps forward. He's able to pick up another with the blink. Triple kill. Ultra kill for Sumail. And Sumail, he's holding on here for OG. The concoction over towards 33. Will blink away. Forced to the side. Will still connect. Sumail will blink up in a second.
Dire's middle tower.
Not going to go looking for the Tide though. But again, does cost a buyback here from Sumail, but a huge buyback indeed as he manages to clean up the majority of Tundra one by one.
We're in Tundra. It's looking a little spicy now. Like it seems like they're actually sort of throwing this game. I thought it was impossible, but this is, what is this, like 3 or 4 base dives past the tier 3s in a row? Your supports can't fall off. Yeah, they just keep going in. There's no like stopping to their aggression. Sometimes it's good, but sometimes it leads to situations where, you know, you were 20k up gold, you were 30k EXP up, and now you're dead 4 heroes. Roshan, luckily for Tundra, is not spotting, because that would have been an insane swing. But my goodness, there's just, honestly, OG are just baiting them in so well and outplaying them in these fights. It's just
now Sumail's also he's picked up the flicker. So good luck killing this Lash. Sumail, he's going to be hopping all over the shop.
it's just like that fight. Razor's 20 seconds off refresher. You know, you're ahead. You get to choose when you want to go high ground, when you want to fight. I mean, they are still in a dominant position. They're up only 8k gold now, actually. They really close on OG. And this is against Alchemist, where you'd usually think Alchemist lineups will be ahead in gold. But still, I'm not seeing Skiter being able to right-click people into fights, which is very surprising to me. He doesn't have an MKB against Arc Warden. He's opted for the sort of all-in Blink Dagger, going for the Swift Blink. If they had just played solid Dota, but they buy MKB, they get the Aghanims on Razor, they get the Shard on Tidehunter, Siege on High Ground Solid, I guarantee this game is looking very free for them. But now we have a real game on our hand. OG can win this game.
They do. Oh, they absolutely can. One more move from Tundra.
Roshan spawns in 6 seconds.
The mark and it will hurt. They're so close to holding on to it. Tying up Seb. See the Roche back up now. They want to head back for that. What's the move? They're going to try and take some quick control back of the jungle. They're going to indeed go straight to the
yeah, this is a refresher orb. I think if Razor had Aghanims, you would just give it to Razor. He literally kills the tier 4s and throne in 20 seconds. But because they don't have it, I think 3-3 is just going to grab this up. It is so incredibly powerful. The double Ravage, I mean, maybe this is what they need. Just a little bit more oomph to their team fight, where they can burst heroes on Ravage and meta. But honestly, I'm really concerned how they've dove base. OG has straight up outplayed them, despite being 20k net worth behind them, despite being 30k EXP. They understand exactly how to take these fights. They take it kitey, and they don't even throw their burst right away. They save it, and as soon as Skitter's BKB is down, he gets hit by Nihilism, Finger, some Leshrac stun. He's hit like 3 times by the Splitter Leshrac shard this game, just completely rooting his team fight, and just really impressed with the base defense.
Well, so they can still play into this timing. We have about 2 minutes left when Notail, Seb, and Samael by 15 minutes will not have buyback available. Tundra, they want to try and hit hard with that. Pick him up outside of the base. Saxa himself has got buyback. I mean, even Thompson, to be fair, buyback's on cooldown, but again, just fully investing, so will not have the money to return. So a core death here could lead to Tundra having the space to close this game up. Got to be careful, OG. Samael. Confident to jump in onto Skiter with the backup that he has from Notail.
And Thompson, he's really starting to hurt. He's going for the Daedalus now. He's doing a lot of damage. Look at Skiter. He might have to sunder.
You have to think hard about it. Alex has indeed had to step up sunder the raid there. The double. Tier 3, and it's gone. A set of racks now exposed. Tundra. And they're headed aggressively. Skiter, straight up, hopping the Metamorphosis. OG, what have they got? Coming with some good defensive before. 33's in! Straight to the back line, finds the Ravage onto the 3 of them. They take out Notail. That's Notail out. No buyback. Samael. He's not got his Oracle. He's not got his save. And that's Samael down. 2 minutes. Saxa gone as well. There'll be a buyback from Saxa. But no Samael, no Notail, with the buyback still on cooldown. Thompson, he's got to do some heavy carrying here. He certainly is. Skiter getting low. Skiter, he looks to jump back in aggressively. Sunder onto Seb. Skiter's up to full HP. Still has the Aegis and the BKB. Ready to pop Skiter. Saxa lines up the stun, but the reach is there. 33 and 9 jumping on top of him. There's 3 dead on OG. No buybacks available as Tundra at the least will be able to get the mega creeps. Maybe even the game itself as well. Thompson and Seb. What can they do here, the 2 of them? He gets caught out by the arrow. 33 out the force the double outside of the bubble stick and take it out. Dual set him onto Thompson as they burst in upon him. Thompson is trying to stand his ground, forced out to the side, but they've got the damage, they've got the chase. Thompson is out. 4 dead on OG. They've got fortification to rely on. Notail's back up in 5. But without 2 cores for more than a minute, what sort of miracle can OG achieve here? Seb is trying to head forward. Holds promise out from Notail. It's keeping Seb alive, but Tundra, they're just focusing the objectives here. Father and Skiter looking to close it up onto the tier 4. Buyback finally comes up for Thompson. He's back in, but Seb's out. Notail as well, only just surviving it back in the base. They're popping the BKBs. Tundra, they're actually going to ignore the H. They want to get more kills out of this. They take out the double. Thompson. And he holds the base here. The final tier 4 starting to fall. Skiter jumps in straight away on a Thompson. Thompson, he's out of the game for good. As that'll be it. No more backup here for OG as Tundra, they'll claim the victory. GG called by OG as Tundra will take this series 2-0.